In a stunning legal decision that's shaking the true crime world, a judge has just ruled that Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of brutally killing 4 University of Idaho students, can still face the death penalty, even though he's been diagnosed with autism. That's right. Despite claims from his defense team that his condition should shield him from capital punishment, the judge said no. But why? What does the law actually say about autism, mental illness, and the death penalty? And what happens next in this high-profile case? Stay with us as we dive into the details of this explosive ruling, the legal battle behind it, and what it could mean for Kohberger's fate. This isn't just a court decision, it could be the turning point in a case that's already captivated a nation. The date was November 13, 2022. The town of Moscow, Idaho, was rocked by a horror that few could have imagined. 4 young University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernadal, and Ethan Chapin, were found stabbed to death inside their off-campus home. No signs of forced entry. No murder weapon found. No clear motive. Just 4 bright lives, senselessly taken in the dead of night. For weeks, the case seemed to stall. Fear spread across the small college town. Rumors flew. Was a killer still on the loose? Then, nearly 7 weeks later, in a dramatic New Year's weekend arrest, authorities took 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger into custody. A criminology PhD student, ironically studying the minds of criminals, charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary. The case against him? A chilling trail of evidence. DNA on a knife sheath found at the crime scene. Cell tower data placing him near the house. Surveillance footage of a white Hyundai Elantra, matching his car, seen circling the area that night. It wasn't just a bombshell, it was the twist no one saw coming. But then came another unexpected revelation. In newly filed court documents earlier this year, Kohberger's defense disclosed something that had never been made public before. Bryan Kohberger has been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. Immediately, the legal conversation shifted. His attorneys argued that this diagnosis must be taken seriously, not just in terms of his behavior or communication, but in how he might face punishment if convicted. They contended that autism significantly impacts how Kohberger interacts with the world, processes emotions, and interprets social cues. But they went further. His team claimed that pursuing the death penalty would violate the 8th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, the ban on cruel and unusual punishment. Their reasoning: that Kohberger's autism impairs his ability to understand the full consequences of his actions and may prevent him from meaningfully participating in his own defense. In other words, they argued that executing someone with his neurological condition would be unjust, unethical, and unconstitutional. It wasn't just a plea for compassion, it was a direct legal challenge. But on April 25, 2025, Judge Stephen Hippler made his ruling. And it was clear. He rejected the defense's attempt to remove the death penalty from the table. His reasoning? While autism can, and should, be considered as a mitigating factor during sentencing, it does not meet the legal threshold to exclude someone from capital punishment. Let's break that down. Under current U.S. law, the Supreme Court has ruled that intellectually disabled individuals, those with significantly limited mental capacity, cannot be executed. That decision came in 2002, in the landmark case Atkins versus Virginia. But, and this is critical, autism is not classified as an intellectual disability. Many individuals with autism have average or even above-average intelligence. The judge emphasized that Kohberger's autism diagnosis, while important, does not equate to a lack of understanding of right and wrong, or a complete inability to participate in his defense. As such, the court ruled the death penalty is still constitutionally allowed in this case, if a jury ultimately convicts him. This wasn't the only point of contention. Kohberger's team also argued that Idaho's death row conditions and methods of execution, particularly lethal injection, were cruel and unusual. Again, Judge Hippler disagreed. He wrote that the defense presented no factual or legal basis for overturning Idaho's death penalty statute. The law, he said, remains constitutional. The message was unmistakable. The trial will move forward. And if Bryan Kohberger is found guilty, the death penalty is absolutely still an option. The ruling ignited immediate reaction from legal experts, advocacy groups, and the general public. Some supported the judge's decision. They pointed to the severity of the crime, for innocent students, murdered in cold blood. They argued that a diagnosis, even one as serious as autism, shouldn't shield a person from justice, especially in a case this brutal. Others were deeply troubled. Autism rights organizations warned that the ruling could set a dangerous precedent. They believe autism can limit one's ability to navigate high-pressure social situations, like police interrogations or courtroom proceedings, and that capital punishment under these conditions may be unjust. Even some legal analysts expressed concern. While acknowledging that autism isn't a categorical bar to execution, they urged caution. The nuances of mental health, they argue, must be weighed carefully, especially in cases involving life or death decisions. And there's another layer to all this. Public perception. Kohberger's trial will be one of the most closely watched criminal cases in the country. The public's understanding of autism, and how it intersects with criminal responsibility, will almost certainly be tested. So what's next? For now, the trial is moving forward. The judge has set a trial date for August 2025, and the prosecution has made their intentions clear. They are still seeking the death penalty. In the months ahead, we can expect more pre-trial motions, more evidence challenges, and likely more courtroom battles over Kohberger's mental health. But the judge's latest decision has drawn the battle lines. If Kohberger is convicted, his attorneys may still raise his autism diagnosis during the sentencing phase, arguing it as a mitigating factor in hopes of avoiding execution. Whether a jury will be swayed by that argument, that remains to be seen. One thing is certain: the stakes could not be higher. So now we stand at the edge of a trial that could define how the justice system handles complex mental health cases in capital crimes. A man accused of unspeakable violence. A defense rooted in neurological diagnosis. A court decision that keeps the ultimate punishment in play. Was it the right call? Should a person with autism, someone who may process the world differently, still be eligible for the death penalty? Or does this open the door to irreversible injustice? The jury will decide Bryan Kohberger's fate. But the legal and ethical questions raised by this case will echo far beyond the courtroom. And as the trial approaches, the eyes of the world will be watching. Should autism protect someone from facing the death penalty, even in a case like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every one. And if you want updates on the Kohberger case and other high-profile true crime stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We'll be following this case every step of the way, and trust us, this story is far from over. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.